sort of share with you what our conversation was like in preparation for this amazing event. This is something we were working on. I was working on it with a couple of other dancers today, a photo shoot. But so I wanted to share with you our methodology, which I thought might be interesting for you, which is I announced to the two of them that we were going to do an improv tonight. And I would buy you a bribery dinner before the show, which I did, except Caitlin didn't want anything. So, and that we were going to make stuff up, basically. And we were going to do a few structured improvs, a demo, and could we have some sample tracks go back and forth, and people think about what they might do to those tracks. So that's where we started, and then things developed over dinner. So I wanted to share that with you because this is then what Jason said. I'm down with everything. I was wondering about instrumentation, then he lists a whole bunch of stuff that he might bring to play with us tonight. He's chosen only a few of those things, but that's some ideas for us. The list goes on, though, anything that jumps out at you. Then Caitlin said, sounds great. I don't know really what your instruments are, that's what she's kind of saying there. And what do you want me to build beforehand in terms of movement phrases? And then I sort of declared a couple of things to them that I thought might be interesting just to touch on very quickly, which is I chose some instruments. Jason didn't bring all of them. And then I kind of tried to structure a few ways that they could engage with each other. Then Jason said he made some videos for us to consider, and some grooves that he was going, and we're not going to play those, don't worry. But that he had thought about those propositions and the exchange back and forth, and now he was going to offer his rhythm to us, Caitlin and I, basically. So I wanted to leave it there so that he could maybe perform those rhythms for us, and that we could start to build a dance for you in our methodology of how we start to structure dance. So and now we're going to add Caitlin, how Caitlin started to think about this music. And I'm going to stop them there because I thought that this was going to happen. And I wanted to now dissect that a little bit for you from my eyes, and how I think maybe the scientific mind thinks, and this is where I need help. We break down dance and music in a very specific way. And the two of them are so masterful of each of their techniques here that a lot of things are glossed over. But this is how we basically break down. It does say elements of dance, but I think it's music as well, into shape, space, time, energy, theme and variation, and that's a mistype. My computer crashed just before this. So anyway, so that's how we break down things. And then what I wanted to sort of point out after they did this lovely first improv is that then we pick out things that they can accentuate or enhance or do differently using the same material. and the same structures that they've already built. So now is where the amazing improv, because they don't know what I'm going to ask them to do. I was going to ask Caitlin to play with space, and in doing that she might change levels more often. And I was going to ask Jason to think of accenting this. So that would mean to me that I want Jason to play differently and accent when she goes up or it goes down, and I'm not sure what that means to him, but he's gonna do something and something's gonna happen. So there you go, that's the proposition. And there it is. This is where I think that he actually played, and they both played with other elements as well. And I'd say he also Jason played with beat and tempo, and Caitlin played with direction a little bit as well. So I wondered if there was another proposition that other people might offer in terms of what you might like to see happen in a dance piece. A little like, yeah.
What would happen if you played with force?
Force. Who do you want to play with force?
Both.
Both of them? Okay. Let's add another thing. Anybody else? Speed? Force and speed. Trouble. Totally trouble. It's really small up here.
Scientists, right?
Science, you guys. But by the way, this is why we may need to go to Mars to figure this stuff out. So, anybody else? Force, speed, a juxtapose. To me, I would want to give them something to juxtapose. One more thing, maybe? Stillness.
Director.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Kyle. Yay. Thank you. Was that force in the way you thought it might be used?
Very effective.
Really? You can also say no, it's okay. So I just kind of wanted to maybe even leave it there, because I wondered what we're interested, what I'm interested, what both of these guys are interested in is an exchange at small stage. And what we do here, I think there's lots and lots of parallels. And we're specialists at movement and creating like in this manner. And there's other ways to create and other ways to do things. So I don't even know if that's appropriate to have a call out to your community here and say, we are inviting you to exchange and put a layer on top of what we're doing. And that's what we're always pushing in our environment. And I hope you sort of understand how we build things in dance and music for that matter. So there you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I'm in awe, and I'm about to go down.
There we go.
I'm in awe when I see how other people express, and I think as I watch this, how science concepts could be expressed by dance and music. And it feels very obvious to me that there are lots of synergies and collaborations that could happen. So does anybody have any questions for Julianne at this exact moment? Yeah, Raymond, go ahead.
I was curious, if you were improvising, if you wanted to repeat the same thing, do you have a notation for the dance?
That's a really interesting, yes, but interesting question.
Do you want to repeat the question in case anyone didn't hear it?
Yes, basically I was going to say, do we have a repetition device within the live context? I'm going to rephrase your question. Is that kind of right?
Well, I was just wondering whether you develop something now and then would you be able to do it again later?
Yeah,
Record
yeah.
Like somehow.
Notate,
Yeah.
dance.
Yeah.
We have several things. I mean, I'm going to say something and maybe Caitlin can jump in too. A lot of times we actually use video. We keep video rolling throughout a rehearsal and look at what take worked the best. And then we know, like Caitlin has a muscle memory of that take, or she'll know how much she needed to push off her foot to do, I don't know, some turn to make sure she goes around those 3 times, sort of thing. So video is used quite a lot these days for that. There used to be a notation which is quite old-fashioned now, called Laban notation, which was sort of like it looked like music staffs, basically, and they articulated all the way to the finger. We don't use that now because it's video. Ooh. So, is there anything else?
It's also being based in classical ballet.
Oh yes, because that's a great thing. So again, Caitlin's training is in ballet, so there's certain very strict muscle things that are trained into them from childhood, basically. So they know exactly where those points are, and they can always refer to those. Is that a good answer? Great. You had one, yes.
Why are you interested in science?
Because I think there's a connection that we're not having in the arts to other people around us. And I actually think there's a connection creatively between how, as an artist, we build material and how you may build material and what the possibilities are between us. I don't know for sure, which is why I'm here pitching, seeing if there's any connections. I see that we live in a visual world as well, and there might be other ways that you express yourselves visually that we don't know about. And I'm willing to and happy to and looking forward to exploring those.